Hello and welcome to this sleepy little village on the outskirts of Riga for the 68th edition of the Monster Energy FIM Motocross of Nations. We're here to educate and illustrate just what happens when the best riders of the world, some of whom don't really normally get to race against each other, meet for the grand finale event of the year, the pinnacle of the outdoor season. Right now it's quiet, it's calm, almost serene. But this is the Motocross of Nations, and all hell is about to break loose. The Motocross of Nations is unlike any other event on the calendar. It's a little bit more complicated, so we thought we'd break it down for you. This is how the Motocross of Nations works.
The Motocross of Nations is a team event with riders putting it on the line for their country. There are 3 riders for every team, riding 3 classes of bikes: MXGP, MX2 and Open. Riders wear the number of last year's finishing position. Belgium won, so will wear numbers 1, 2 and 3. The draw made on Saturday morning determines the start gate pick for the qualifying races. Each class qualifies separately in their own separate race.
This is what it's all about, the Chamberlain Trophy, and let's hear from a few of the guys that have been chasing this glory over the years.
Well, I've done 14 the Nations, I've done 14 podiums, and I have a couple of best memories, and both of them were in England. The last one, of course, Matterley Basin. You know, the battle with James Stewart, I think everyone remembers the pass on the off-camber on the foot pegs. So it's been my last biggest great race.
First time that I rode the race in 1992, we won. Team USA kept the win streak alive. And I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking about it. When you're standing on the podium, and of course I was a young guy, I had never been to the Nations race, and we're on the top step of the podium with the team, Roy Jansen, team manager, Billy Lyles, Michael Rocco. We're holding the Chamberlain Trophy, and they play the national anthem. I'm telling you, it's like nothing else.
The craziest one was when I won 2011 in France, in Saint-Jean-d'Angély. That was awesome. The track was looking small like this because everyone was just like, all the arms, they were reaching for me, and that's a great feeling.
2001 in Namur, and that track is really special. It's like Monaco in Formula 1, so I was really happy that I could ride there, and the first one is a really special moment, and I will never forget that.
2011, kind of helping the team get to third place overall. That's our best result. Until then, fourth was the best, and I was on that team, and but I think it was 86 that some of the other Australian guys were also got that. So then it was important to, you need to be on the best team. You don't want to be equal to the best team.
This race has a very unique place in which you find the effort, and that you feel like that you're not riding only for yourself, but you're riding for extended team and all the fans at home. So that's what makes this race just so unbelievably special and different from anything else that you do.
First moto, I was battling all moto with the MXoN guys. I was like battling with Polan, with Dungey, all those big boys, big bikes. Me on the 250 was not easy. Second moto, I crashed in the start, and I had to come from the back, and it was a hell of a ride. I was hanging with my feet off the foot pegs all moto long to just go back to the front.
It was so different from really being in heaven to being in hell and back in heaven. After the second moto, we were still, let's say, we were still in winning position, or really close to, or having a good chance on winning. We were really confident, but then, yeah, with the start of the third race, that's the moment when it really turned upside down. I walked out of the first stage with just no idea about what had happened at the track, and I really felt like, oh, it's all over. And I was really ready to walk to our hospitality and just having a beer. And then by walking back, I heard the speaker say like, and the leading country still is Belgium. And then I thought like, wait, no, this is not possible. Am I sure that I've seen Clement in the first 8 and we have only one rider on the track? I got curious and walked to the track, and then saw like, hey, what's happening? Like I could see the US riders not up front, and like Ken was doing well. So yeah, maybe we have a chance. And then I was running around to the pit lane to really see it on the screen.
It was an awesome feeling, It was still 2 laps before the end. We didn't know if we won or if we were second or third. So it was really nervous moments. It was wonderful. All the crowd, all the fans excited. We were so excited. So, it's one of the best feelings of my career, and I hope we can do it again this weekend.
It's going to be hard to beat the scenes of last year, but we're at a circuit that can make all the difference. The Zelter circuit here, and here to take us on our GoPro track preview is Max Nagel, Gauthier Paulin and Chad Reed.
Hi, I'm Chad Reed with Team Australia.
Hello, I'm Max Nagel riding for Team Germany.
Hey, I'm Gauthier Paulin, riding for Team France number 13, and this is the GoPro MX of Nation course preview.
It's about 85 metres to the first corner, which is a 180-degree right turn. Immediately out of there, we're into 4 waves. So from that far back, coming out of the first turn, you can double your way through. Turn 2, 90 degrees, then up over the first of the big jumps here. And then as we swing down the other side, we sweep through the left-hander. Gets pretty quick through here, over the first of the Monster Energy tabletop jumps. Turning through the air, and then into 3 more waves. Again, some riders differing lines through there. You can double, single, or single, double. Some riders even pumping their way through one at a time. At the end of the waves, you come through the right-hander over a small speed jump and expect it to get pretty bumpy through this next braking zone into that tight right-hander. Exit the turn, up and over the Ippon tabletop jump, very short. And again, we're utilizing these bankings around the outside. There'll be lines up the inside into a small double. That'll get chopped out, as will the approach to the first of the 2 tabletops down the back straight. The first one longer than the second one. And then we start to head through a series of waves uphill. We're at about 7-8 waves through there. Having to correct slightly midway through because the momentum automatically pushes you out to the outside. Through what used to be the final turn on the track, hitting the Monster Energy triple step down, through the right-hander, over a small speed jump here, and this is now just a normal tabletop around the house on the infield of the circuit, dropping into this right-hander, the penultimate corner on the racetrack, just before the finish line. This is the final turn prior to the finish, a left-hander, a short drag over the Monster Energy finish line, double jump, just here. And then coming into land, this straight used to be the pit lane area, over the little offset jump on the corner, over a small floating cresting jump there into this wide left-hander. You can utilize the bank to the outside, exit there over a small single in the opposite direction, through this tight right-hander here, maybe a gear change or 2, over the single in the opposite direction once again, and then through this right-hander. Then we have the step down. Entrance to pit lane is just to the rider's right. And then we come through the right-hander, down past pit lane and into the final left. And then we rejoin at turn 1.
Number 1 on the bike, it feels great, you know. It's like already so many years, and finally that number 1 plate on the bike. This track's kind of cool, suits our style, so I'm really looking forward, and we're gonna give it all.
It's the one event a year that you do no matter what. You know what's fun about it is you never know what you're going to get, you know, and sure you can watch YouTube videos and all that kind of stuff of what the track is, or yeah, coming to Latvia, you know, you kind of hear, oh, it's bordering Russia, it's kind of scary, and it's one of the coolest countries I've ever been to, and the track looks great.
It's tough. I'm racing the new class, and after so many years, I'm back on the 250 bike. So it's a completely different way of riding. So I will try to adapt as better as I can. But you know, our goal is to finish on the podium. So this time it's not my priority to win. It's the team to have to finish on the podium.
You have to be a team because I have to give Tommy the inside gate. So I'm being a team player. Had a couple years on the 215, it's just not very enjoyable because like you're just constantly sucking roost the whole time. It's tough. You know, we all have to just do our best and ride as hard as we can and hopefully be on the box.
I mean, Team France is just bringing a good energy. You know, we are a good team with Dan and Ferrandis riding MX2. The kid Dylan Ferrandis is just crazy. He wants to do good, and Steven is more like safe. And all kind of 3 riders are different person, and riding for the French color, it's awesome.
it's a track that maybe we can be familiar with, you know, because I would say the last few years for the U.S. have just been different, you know. So going back to last year, there were some mistakes there too that, you know, that maybe, or we didn't really want to happen, you know, but it's just racing, and we're fired up this year. You know, the past 2 years haven't been what we wanted, you know, and that's to win.
Nervous moments right before the start of the first race, MXGP and MX2, but when the gate dropped, it was a hard charge down the inside. On board here with Filip Bengtsson of Sweden, as Max Nagel, number 19 of Germany, and Alexander Tonkov duked it out for the foxhole shot. It was Tonkov of Russia who came out first, as Alex Martin of Puerto Rico fell. Ryan Dungey just ahead of the Swede, as Gauthier Paulin towards the end of the first lap made a pass on Nagel to go second. Tommy Searle made a good start on the MX2 category bike, but Tony Cairoli was soon working his way past the Swede of Bengtsson and going after the number 1 of Jeremy Van Horbeke. The Russian Tonkov, number 22, did well to fend off the challenge from number 13 Gauthier Paulin of France, as Dungey loomed dangerously in the background. A mistake from Van Horbeke allowed Cairoli to close in, but he couldn't capitalise on the mistake of the Belgian as they battled over 5th and 6th place. Eventually Paulin found his way through into the lead for France as Cairoli scythed at the inside for Van Horbeke to go 5th, but it was short-lived because the following lap the Italian was out and would not finish the race. Gauthier Paulin, meanwhile, stretched his lead over the rest of his rivals and looked supremely confident. A mistake from Tonkov allowed Dungey up into second position with a handful of laps to go. Max Nagel eventually found his way through to third on the number 19 machine for Germany, and Van Horbeke eventually got himself up to fourth on the number 1 Yamaha for Team Belgium. Alexander Tonkov had a great ride in 5th. Bengtsson came home in 6th on the number 88 for Sweden. A good ride for the Dutch rider, number 32, Glenn Koldenhoff, as he and Tommy Searle, number 17 for Great Britain, battled over 7th and 8th. Eventually, it was Koldenhoff who went through on the Brit. Ferrandis made his move on Jeremy Martin and eventually climbed up to 9th, which was a great ride for the Frenchman. But it was Gauthier Paulin who won from Dungey, and Nagel was third. A great ride for Bengtsson, who came home in 6th.
I'm not sure, but his bike started smoking, so he slowed up a little bit.
Antonio Cairoli would line up at the start of race 2, but he hit the gate as he tried to go too early. The Italian was left right at the back as they charged down into turn 1. Meanwhile, it was the number 15, the Frenchman of Stephen Frossard, who just out-dragged Tommy Searle of Great Britain, and he picked up the foxhole shot. On board here with Eli Tomac. And here with Kevin Strybos, who made a great start and soon went to work on everybody else. Fredrik Noren of Sweden just ahead of him, number 90. But the battle was between Team France and Team Belgium. Strybos going around the outside of Frossard to take the lead. Third and fourth, number 17 and 18, Tommy Searle and his teammate, Dean Wilson, were line astern for the first few laps, until Wilson found a way through got himself into third and went after Frossard. Tomac, who didn't make the best of starts, was fighting his way through the field. This pass here on the number 2 of Lieber got him up into 7th place, as his teammate, number 5, Jeremy Martin, riding with a broken foot, carved his way past the number 12 of Matt Moss to get himself into 13th. 33, Mark Deruva, and 14, Dylan Ferrandis, were fighting their way through traffic as well. And they were in 10th and 11th at this stage of the race. Glenn Coldenhoff, 32, was having a good hard charge through the field as well. And eventually he came home in 8th. Tano Leok, riding his 14th Motocross of Nations, thought he'd done a great job of holding off the number 6 of Eli Tomac. But with 2 laps to go, the American eventually got himself into 6th. Wilson looked good in 3rd. Tommy Searle, equally impressive in 4th. As Frossard couldn't do anything about the number 3 of Kevin Strybos. Kevin Strybos it was who took the flag to win race 2. Frossard was 2nd, Wilson was 3rd, Searle 4th, and Norrent was 5th. Coming into the final race, 4 teams stood a chance of lifting the Chamberlain Trophy. France, Great Britain, Belgium and USA. France leading the way on 21 points. When the gate dropped, all eyes were on the gates up the inside. Chad Reed fell as he was out-dragged down the start straight, but it was Dennis Ulrich of Germany who grabbed the foxhole shot. Eli Tomac went down as he came around the first turn. Chad Reed on the deck. Van Hoorbeek was in 2nd position. Paulin was in 3rd as they went after the German. But it wasn't long before the number 1 and the number 13 were up into 1st and 2nd position. Tonkov following them through as well, of Russia in 3rd, as Kevin Strybos, battling from a poor start, was finding it tough coming through traffic, just like Eli Tomac. Matt Moss, the 2nd of the Australians, went down. So too did Kevin Strybos, and he would remount in 29th place. Number 15 of Frossard, the teammate to Paulin, was in a battle with Nagel as Kevin Strybos started climbing his way back through the field. Wasn't long though before Gauthier Paulin dived down the inside of number 1, Jeremy Van Hoorbeek, to lead once again for France. Strybos made this pass on Ryan Dungey as he charged through. That put the Belgian up into 20th place. Philip Bengtsson had this big crash from 8th, and that was game over for the Swede. After what had been a good start to the campaign, Nagel also went out, and he fell from 4th position, would eventually get back to 12th. But the man on a mission was the number 6 of Eli Tomac, carving his way through the field, eventually caught the number 18 of Wilson. That put him up into 6th position, but it wasn't for the lack of trying for Wilson to try and keep the American at bay. Carved down the inside of Frossard as well. Eventually got himself up past the number 22 as 16, Sean Simpson, went out with a broken chain. They were still on the podium at this point of the race though, but suddenly from out of nowhere, Ryan Dungey, the American, number 4, started putting in a series of passes. This one here on Matis Caro of Latvia. Eventually Dungey got himself up into 11th. A last-ditch effort from Wilson got him up into 5th place, but it was Paulin who won the race. It was Team France who won the Nations Trophy. They won on 17 points. Belgium was 2nd and the USA were 3rd.
Welcome to the media center.
if you're ready, let's go.
With the Motocross of Nations.
So that is it for all of the number crunching and the bench racing. It all boils down to this. Team France put on the ultimate team performance here this weekend in Latvia. Dylan Ferrandis did what he needed to do in MX2, and Stephen Frossard backed up Gauthier Paulin's double moto victories to pick up the ultimate prize, the Chamberlain Trophy.